Hello everybody, I'm Miss Rachel. I work at the Gatos Library in the front desk. I decided to come and share with you my nature journey. I received the journal from Miss Amanda and it looks like this. So when Miss Amanda handed the item off to me, the journal, it came in this lovely packaging, and as you can see she wrote my name on it. So I went ahead and I just kind of opened it up and found our lovely journal. Now, as you can see, our journal, we begin with our love letter from Librarian Jen, as she told us to begin to explore our neighborhood. The first person to get it was Miss Grace. And look at all these lovely, beautiful red hues. Look at how the flowers are drying up. This one still feels really cool. Then she gave Miss Catherine a try, and Miss Catherine here has a lot of beautiful leaves. Really cool texture there too. Beautiful flowers. Some more lovely goodies right here. Look at that. Look at her beautiful white petals. And her little ladybugs are keeping watch over everything. Then Daniel went on an adventure. His feel really nice. He passed it off to Miss Amanda. And not only did she find really cool leaves on her walk, she did find some trash along the way. She documented those as well. This is really cool. Look at how it pops up 3D. You go, Miss Amanda. And that brings us to our new adventure. Let's read and see what it says. Rachel, by the end of my walk, I had mixed emotions. While the nature I saw was beautiful, there was so much man-made trash taking up space. But when I looked closely, I could see that nature has a way all around us. There are so many plants and places I wouldn't notice without really looking closely at rocks and cracks in cement. My idea for you is to find the smallest moments of nature. Maybe some moss on a rock in front of your house or a nest of a bird somewhere you didn't expect. Always amazing to me to see how many shapes and sizes nature can come in. Lots of love, Amanda. So let's begin our journey. When I first did this, I was working at the library and I decided to take my nature journey walk for lunch break. But while I was standing in the library, in our back porch patio area, I located this walk. It's called Gray's Lane. And I got so excited because Amanda's assignment was to find a piece of moss on a rock. And this was so great, right in our backyard. I grabbed it and I scraped it off. This is a piece of it. But my favorite part is how the moss, even on the inside of the Gray's Lane, it made its way there. And my note entry says, I found the moss in the library's backyard. Look how it merged with the art of man to make a spectacular masterpiece. This was great. So I took my little moss and my little Kleenex in hand and I walked out our back door. And the back door to the library looks like this. And here's the stairs. But as you come down, you see this trellis of vines. And what I wrote for this is part of the trellis that's located on the back step of the Los Gatos Library. It's my favorite place to eat donuts and have tea on my break. I love how nature combined with man to make an enjoyable place. And I took a piece of it since there was such an abundance. And this is the vine from the back of it. As I was making my way, I came across a little green patch. And I spotted this friend right here. I don't know if you can see him. There he is. And he was just being himself, a nice little bee. And so I decided to take a picture of him because I couldn't take him and put him in the journal. And my note says, I caught this friend being a busy bee. He was so small, but his big job of pollinating flowers have me in awe. So I just kind of stood there and watched him work. Reminded me of how I am at the library. Well, I walked on a little further and I'm making my way to the Gatos High School. And I run across, in front of the hotel, a green patch and this one little flower right here standing out. Now, it was a patch of just green grass and there was this orange flower. Well, actually, he was yellow. And it says, this yellow flower is so pretty. The small vibrant color was found in a sea of green grass. So I kind of plucked him and decided he could join my journal. Well, I decided to cross the street because my destination is going to be Los Gatos High School. And right as I crossed the street, I saw on the cement this little piece of nature. Wow, how's that happening? That this little shrub is growing from the town of Los Gatos sewer system. So I had to take a picture of him and add him to my collection. He actually reminds me of a poem by a gentleman named Tupac Shakur, and I'll read that to you. Hear about the rose that grew from the crack in the concrete? Proving nature's laws wrong, it learned to walk without having feet. Funny it seems, by keeping its dreams, it learned to breathe fresh air. Long live the rose that grew from the concrete when no one else even cared. And that is by a rapper named Tupac Shakur. Well, after I saw such an amazing thing and was inspired, I finally made it to my destination, which was the high school. And there, it was a big old sea of grass. So I stood in the grass. I looked down, and I saw me. Now, little old me in this big sea of grass is definitely a small moment. But to see my shadow, now I thought that was pretty cool. And I wrote, my shadow, there you are. A small moment created by a big sun. Such a warm day, the squirrels even came out to play. And that's where I met my little friend here. I decided to draw him. And I decided to follow with Librarian Catherine's inspiration and use googly eyes for him. Bob Saget even made a quote. He's a comedian. And he said, the squirrels in my yard really knows his way around the neighborhood. So after I stood there looking down at my shadow and at the squirrel who played with his friend, I looked around for more small moments. And then I said, wow, let me look up. So I looked up and I saw this really big, beautiful sky. I said, that's not a small moment. It's something so small. But then I saw these beautiful clouds. And they're not very big in comparison to this big, beautiful sky. So I decided to take a picture. And there we have it. Then, after admiring the lovely sky, I looked up and I actually saw the sun. And although I know that the sun is very, very big, in comparison to the sky, he looked very small. So I thought he should be added to my journal too, because he definitely made the day. Not only did he look good, but just the warmth that I felt from him. That was a small moment in nature that added to my experience. Which leads me to getting ready to leave and coming across this big, beautiful tree. Now, I couldn't cut the big tree down, but it made me realize that he started as a small moment, when I accidentally stepped on his seed, which you can see here. So here's the seed, and he grew into this very big tree. Now, as I was making the connection of the two, I was like, well, this is another small moment as I was standing in the shade. Just a wonderful enjoyment. Then I felt the breeze blow and the leaves fall, so I picked up the leaves. Even the breeze was a small moment in history. So I just stood there and enjoyed the sun, the shade, the breeze. Then I looked over and found this friend. And although he's actually taller than me, so he's quite a big moment in nature, I thought his history was pretty cool because he was once a really big tree that had gotten sick, and the town couldn't remove his roots because he was so deep within and tangled with all his other tree friends. So instead of trying to pull him out, they decided to have him evolve into a lovely wildcat. And when you drive down Main Street and you pass Los Gatos High School, you can wave at our lovely wildcat. So that concluded my little walk. And these are just some of the beautiful things that I want to share with you as I journey through my nature in the town of Los Gatos by the library. Hope you enjoyed your time with me. Have a great day.